his career to protecting you from unhealthy and dangerous products. So what exactly is BHA and BHT?
So BHA and BHT are two of the most widely used chemical preservatives in the American food system. And they're used because they can help prevent oxygen from causing food, especially the oils in food, from going off, from losing their color or taste or aroma. And they're really good at it.
I'll give you an example of how good they are at it. Look at this image of fresh beef. Now, without BHA and BHT added, the meat will spoil within a few days, and it will look like this, much less appetizing. So I'm not surprised that it's so ubiquitous. What kind of foods have BHA and BHT in them besides the meat that I mentioned?
So BHA and BHT are found in hundreds of products, in aisle after aisle of a supermarket. They're things that are in fats themselves, animal and vegetable fats, in prepared meats like sausages or perhaps these buffalo wings. They're found in some potato chips and other snack foods. They're found in baked goods, the ones that seem like they last forever.
Right.
It could be a chemical preservative. And when you open a box of breakfast cereal, the surprise inside might not be a toy, it might be chemical preservatives. And even in some surprising places, like chewing gum and some beers have BHA or BHT.
Bubble gum and beers.
Yeah.
I've gotten everywhere. So why are you worried about it if they're so ubiquitous?
So there's several reasons. One, either one of them can cause an allergic reaction, and people may not know where it's coming from. And there's kidney issues. But here's the thing. BHA in food has been shown to cause cancer in animals, in more than one species of animal. Now, does it cause it in humans? We don't know yet. But the Department of Health and Human Services says we should reasonably anticipate that it is causing cancer in humans. The UK has banned BHA, but because we don't know yet, our FDA still allows it to be in all our foods.
So we reached out actually to the FDA about the use of BHA and BHT in our food. And they said in part, the FDA has studied the use of BHA and BHT in foods for decades and has determined that at the very low levels at which they are used, they do not pose safety concerns. We have their full statement on DrOz.com. How do you respond to that statement?
Well, it's an interesting position because the FDA says it's still safe because the doses are so low, but the NIH is concerned it may be causing cancer. The U.S. toxicology program, they're supposed to be looking at toxic chemicals in our environment. What they say is that the levels in individual foods are very low, but that there are Americans who eat enough of these things that they're going over the safety limits. To me, if there were a reason to use them, it might be worth the risk. But because you can get the job done other ways, why?
Why? Exactly. So my bottom line is any product containing fats or oils has the potential for having BHA or BHT. Look for it. We don't know the health effects on humans, as Dr. Bean pointed out, but why take a chance? There are enough food companies out there that don't use BHA and BHT. So I'm going to suggest to you all now, you look for those products to minimize your exposure. Okay, now on to the last ingredient you should be concerned about. It's found in this jar. Now, many of you may have had an experience with frogs in formaldehyde. And if you look at these preservatives, they're quite effective in making sure that the animals stay unchanged. You can look inside and find out what's going on. This is the exact same kind of stuff found in your high school biology lab around the country, and now you can find it in your clothes. Lindsay Coulter is called the Queen of Green, and she helps consumers avoid dangerous chemicals. So, Lindsay, formaldehyde, explain to everyone what it is, how it can preserve that frog so elegantly forever, and why would we ever want to put it in our clothes?
Well, formaldehyde is a water-soluble, colorless gas, and manufacturers use it in clothing and linens to prevent wrinkles and stain resistance as well.
So why are you concerned about its use in our clothes?
Unfortunately, formaldehyde is toxic. It's actually a known carcinogen, and even low exposures to formaldehyde can result in a runny nose you might get, a rash, even a headache.
All right, so typically we absorb a lot of stuff through our skin. It's our biggest organ. But you can also breathe in the formaldehyde. Let me show you how. Temperature changes. It's hot outside, for example. It leads not just to heating of our clothes, but there's more humidity, we sweat more, and it can cause clothing, like, for example, this, to react. When the formaldehyde reacts, it breaks down and releases a gas that you can breathe in like this and push it towards you. So high amounts of this same gas can cause nausea, irritation of your eyes and nose and throat, just like I am getting irritated right now, asthma, eczema, from the fabric itself, but also because you're inhaling this stuff. So how do we know how much formaldehyde is in our clothes?
Well, the tricky thing is you don't. So you won't see formaldehyde on the label of your clothing, and it's an unregulated chemical in clothing in the United States. What you will see on your labels is things that say no iron, wrinkle-free, wrinkle-resistant, even stain-resistant.
So we reached out to the National Council of Textile Organizations, and they said in part, since the concern of formaldehyde has been raised and continues to worry consumers, the U.S. textile industry has continued to find ways to reduce the levels of formaldehyde textiles. Good for them. Their full statement is posted on our website as well. And then for my final thoughts, I'm always suspicious of artificial products. I talk about it when it comes to food. So it would not shock me if we need to be wary about it in artificial fabrics as well. The easiest solution to remember is to wash any of these clothes before you wear them. You can at least wash it once, maybe even twice before you put it on your body. Thank you for the advice, Dr. Green, as well. I appreciate it. We'll be right back.
If you overindulge,
You all been there?
Dr. Oz has the Diet 911.
You want a quick fix for those carbs?
Please.
Burning away the carbs. I can do this.
The best foods
This ought to be in your next breakfast meal.
to burn it off.
Would you rather have the fat in your hips or your poop?
Next.
Promotional considerations provided by.
Ringing in the ears used to bother me a lot. Not that bad, but bad. Then my doctor told me lipoflavonoid helps relieve the ringing. Lipoflavonoid, #1 to relieve ringing in the ears.
Have a health question? Ask on DrOz.com and get answers directly from Dr. Oz and his team of experts. No question is off limits.
Did you know that Rapid Cash offers payday loans that can get you fast cash with just a debit card? No check needed. Rapid Cash makes it easy. Just swipe and go for cash on the spot.
Love that Rapid Cash.
Did you know acupuncture is one of the oldest and most commonly used forms of medicine in the world? In this ancient Chinese healing therapy, small diameter needles penetrate the skin to promote natural healing. As an acupuncturist at Cancer Treatment Centers of America, I find that it eases side effects, such as pain and nausea that cancer patients experience while undergoing treatment. Through acupuncture, we can improve overall functioning of the body and promote natural healing.
Dr. Oz is brought to you locally by